Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever this finds you. Please welcome to the 53rd Emerging Growth Conference. I'm your host, Anna Berry. So just a few notes. Today we'll be running until about 3:15 Eastern Time. And remember that all of our conferences are uploaded to our Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel. So please subscribe, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. When we do switch to the next company today, you're going to see a black screen for a moment, but that's just us transitioning over. So don't go anywhere. If you do experience some downtime for more than a minute, just refresh your browser. Everything should work properly again. And our platform does work best on Google Chrome. So if you're watching from an Apple device, you have to hit the play button to start. So during each company's presentation today, you can submit questions through our webcast module, and we will attempt to address as many of these as possible at the end of the presentation. And one last note, at the end of today's event, you'll be redirected to the registration page for our next conference in 2 weeks. So stay on or come back to reserve your spot early. Let's begin today with Imagin Medical, Inc. It trades on the OTCQB under the symbol IMEXF and on the CSE under the symbol IME, and is a surgical imaging company focused on advancing new methods of visualizing cancer during minimally invasive procedures. The company believes its first product, the iBlue imaging system, with its proprietary optics and light sensors, will greatly increase the efficiency and accuracy of visualizing bladder cancer for better resection. Please welcome today's President and CEO, Jim Hutchens. Now, a little bit about Mr. Hutchens. He has over 30 years of experience in the healthcare technology industry with a proven track record of accomplishments. Experience includes venture capital investing, founding and building successful healthcare technology companies, and executive positions with major companies, including Boston Scientific and Smith & Nephew. Welcome, Jim, to the conference today. How you doing?
I'm good. Pleasure to be here.
We're happy to have you, and the floor is yours. So when you're ready for questions, just call me back.
Will do. Let me just share with you, as Anna said, I am Jim Hutchens. I'm the president of Imagin Medical. I have been in this medical device arena for, she said 30, but actually 35 years, to be frank with you. And my most senior corporate job was with Smith & Nephew, a major orthopedic company. I was the VP of marketing and sales, $100 million division, large sales force, an array of product marketing people. And the sports medicine business is just a great business. In a little company named Microvasive, just to make a parallel to what we're going to be talking today, I was the fourth employee. We took this company named Microvasive. We took the revenue up to $18 million, and this company transitioned gastroenterologist from diagnostic, just looking to doing something therapeutic. That's a $1 billion division of Boston Scientific today. I've had a wound care company, but I'm going to mention to you a surgical company where we built some of the first multi-use instruments used in the operating room for laparoscopic surgery. So I would like to move us to the actual presentation. And we are building a best-in-class urologic oncology company. We're focused on visualizing bladder cancer with our iBlue imaging system. It improves the surgeon's visualization of the cancer. For the patient, that means we can start to eliminate surgical recurrence rates. In prostate, we treat the prostate with our N-Cage coil precision ablation system that leaves the prostate intact, which we're going to talk about today, and preserves the erectile nerves. This is a big market, $750 million. The development risk is a very important point. In this business has been mitigated for both of these products, and we'll have products on the market in two years. We have well-protected issued IP, and Anna has mentioned that we are on the OTCQB. Before we get started, let me just tell you who we are. John Basha is our CFO. He is a CPA, worked at Deloitte Tush, I just want to mention to you that he was the CFO and then the CEO of a company named Intact, and all of these experiences relate to what we're doing today. This was a breast biopsy company. He remarkably sold this company on $1 million of revenue to Medtronic for $100 million. Mike Pagano's worked with me 3 times. He's a terrific operations guy. He's a certified quality person. And I've known him, as I mentioned, in 3 companies. Pam Papineau, I also knew at Boston Scientific. She is our director of quality assurance and regulatory affairs. Many people say this, but I use the kind of cocky word of world-class medical advisors. Dr. Kamat at MD Anderson is going to be our first evaluator of the iBlue system. I think many of you will know that MD Anderson is often rated as 1, 2, or 3 in the world of cancer. Dr. Kamat is an unequivocal leader in the field of specifically bladder cancer. I'm going to skip down to Mark M. Burton. This is one of the absolute leaders in this business of prostate management in focal therapy. He is, again, another world-renowned doctor. He is at the University College of London. And you can see on our website all of the key physicians that are on our scientific advisory board. Let's get started talking about bladder cancer. Bladder cancer is the 6th most prevalent cancer in the U.S. It's the 4th most prevalent for men. Yet it's the most expensive cancer to treat due to the fact that once you get bladder cancer, you're going to be managing it for the rest of your life. After your first procedure, you're going to see the doctor 4 times, and you have a 50% chance, greater than 50% chance, that you're going to have an additional procedure. So what I'd like to do is talk to you about the market today, the current standard of care. Then I will talk about our iBlue system, and it will fit in, and you will be able to see what it is we're trying to achieve. So the current standard of care is to use a cystoscope. Now, a cystoscope, another word for it, is an endoscope. In urology, it's called a cystoscope. You use a cystoscope with white light. If you look at image A on the far left, this is a 30-year-old technology that controls 90% of the market. So when those tumors protrude above the wall, the surgeon can resect them properly. But it's very common that the flat tumors look just like normal tissue. And the white light is just not effective in visualizing on B what you're doing there. This is what generates these 50, and there are many hospitals that have 70% surgical recurrence rate. Now, I want to shift over to an emerging procedure referred to as blue light. In this procedure, and I am looking at C, I want to make the point. If you look at B, and then you go to C, look at the unbelievable transition. Photocure is a company that sells an imaging or a contrast agent. You put the contrast agent in first, then you go in with your cystoscope, you use a blue filter over it, and it fluoresces. It is truly, in my mind, remarkable. So where are we in the marketplace? The blue light has slowly been emerging, even though 33% more tumors are found and it reduces recurrence rate. So we're not doing market development. We're jumping in and we're cleaning this thing up. Here are some of the problems. You can't operate in the blue or on the blue light. It's not in real time. So look at C and think, okay, I see the cancer. Now I have to toggle or switch back to B. And they're going back and forth. Now, the other big problem is there's only one manufacturer that sells a light system, and it's named Karl Storz. They're a major German company. Here's the problem. If you want to go to blue light and you already own 9 scopes at $10,000 a piece, you can't use any of them. You have to buy new scopes. This makes the hospital quite furious. Now, the second challenge, and I'll just use Olympus, but if you put together these 2 numbers, 45 and 15, you've got 60% of the market. They have contracts. So now you have to go in and try to break the contract with Olympus, which is a very difficult thing to do. On our website, we have a video of a doctor who left Emory University where he used blue light, went to the West Coast, and he cannot get the blue light because they use Olympus scopes. But he will describe to you exactly what the problems are in trying to bust through those contacts. That's the state of the market today. Now, as we talk about Imagin's iBlue system, on the left, this is a tower of equipment that you need to buy. I just want to check my time. You're looking at a camera control unit, a light source, a video data recorder. This is where you take pictures and videos of the patient. And what we've done, we have taken all of that equipment. We have a dual view camera head. Remember, our goal is to get 2 images on the monitor at the same time. We have a 2-channel light source and the video data recorder. We have contracted and miniaturized all of this equipment into what we refer to as the iBlue system control unit. It works with dual view camera head. So what's happening with the system control unit? That's the brains of the whole system. It puts light into the bladder, white and blue. It takes it out in real time. You can generate the 2 images on the monitor, which is an enormous help to these doctors. And it's designed, that camera head, here's the key point. That camera head has the blue filters in it. So we can put this product onto a normal Karl Storz product or a normal, already in the hospital, already purchased cystoscope. And it is really kind of a remarkable thing. And you can imagine when things get smaller, they get less expensive. Oopsie. I just lost my connection. Okay, we've re-engineered this product so that you get 2 images and you use 1 camera head on anybody's scope that the hospital already owns. Let's move to slide 8, or slide, please. This is what the economics look like today. To buy a Karl Storz system, anywhere from $130,000 to $150,000. You have to buy 4 scopes because you have to get a scope with a blue filter. When you purchase the Imagin system, you don't need a new scope, so you've already saved, and these are minimum numbers, $28,000. So we can have our product queued up and we do not have a price yet. Many people think we should charge more, but at $50,000, which wipes this market out, we can make 76% gross margin. That's the point. I'd like you to know, in terms of the FDA, we've had 2 meetings with the FDA. They know we're coming. We are going to, in 18 months, I'll show you on the timeline, have the final application into the FDA, and we will have clinical data from MD Anderson in Houston. So here is our timeline. And if we think about being underway at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, we're going to take 9 months, but at 6 months we'll have beta products to put on human beings. Then we have to go through, and many of you who have invested in medical understand this, we have to go through a whole cycle of building pilots, do the validation testing, and then get the FDA application in. So we're going to shift over now to talking about prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the most prevalent cancer for men in the US. 1 out of 7 men will be diagnosed with bladder cancer, and it is the #1 killer of cancers for men at almost 250,000 cases. So it's a big deal. What do we do today? I'm going to walk through a parallel presentation to what we were just discussing. The current standard of care is surgery. And we usually are talking about radical prostatectomies, where you go in and you take the whole prostate out. You may have heard of this as robotic surgery. What's the problem? You have a significant problem with urinary incontinence and erectile dysfunction. Now, a lot of this has to do with the age of the patient. You also have many hospitals that don't have robots, that don't do surgery, but they do radiation. And you have the same urinary incontinence, erectile dysfunction problems. Now, I want to talk to you about this emerging procedure that we're involved in, and it's called focal therapy. So what's taking place here? Before you walk into a doctor's office, because these procedures are done in doctor's offices, you have an MRI done. That MRI is loaded into a computer system in the doctor's office. And when you come in for your procedure, an ultrasound probe is put into your rectum. Now we create an image on all the monitors so we can get onto that prostate without taking it out and do the resections. So we preserve the prostate. It's a minimally invasive procedure, and I know it might sound awful to you, but versus taking the whole prostate out, it's a huge step forward. We target and resect only the tumor. And as I said, we do this. I've seen many of these cases now. You walk in, and 3 hours later, you walk out, and in a month, actually in a few days, you're walking around and you're happy. But it has tremendous results for moving forward, as a male. So the difficulties all come back to the same thing. You can't, and I wish I could be with you and show you, those erectile nerves are right at under or the side of the prostate. It is very difficult to control whether you're using heating or freezing. That energy source leaks right into the erectile nerves, which causes this problem, and you're right back to your urinary incontinence and erectile nerves. So what have we done? And I want to show you the technology before the product. And on the lower left, you may have seen or been in a museum where they demonstrate a Faraday cage effect. And what we have is 8 patents surrounding this. And a Faraday effect, how does a microwave work? It's a Faraday effect. It's under control. So we generate this Faraday effect. It contains the RF or radio frequency energy within the coil, targeted only at the tumor. And it protects the surrounding areas. This is a big story. This is changing what's taking place in our society today. And I just want to share with you the idea of only not making 7-inch incisions in the, but I'm just taking my time, but being able to go through a little hole, change the whole thing. We are going to make a huge impact on prostate surgery as we go forward. Here is our product. And if we were together, I'm sure you'd say it looks like a wine opener. The N-cage coil, which is a precision device, enters the body, and at the tip, you're seeing a 1.5 centimeter active electrode. And it is precise. So you can move that just where you want it. We have an introducer down on the lower left, and we have a way to move from one tumor to the next one through the guide template. So you can control all of this. Now, this disposable product, probably in the $1,000 range, $1,200 range, is going to work with our RF generator. And this generator, and the key here is impedance. If you're seeing difficult tissue, it ratchets up. If you're seeing easier tissue, it ratchets down. So we're going to have a piece of capital and the disposables. And I want you to know, where are we today? We have a 510K approval for not prostate, but the label is for soft tissue. And you could say, well, isn't the prostate soft tissue? And the answer is yes. But our label from the FDA is for soft tissue. We have done 41 patients were evaluated at the University College in London with Dr. M. Burton and his staff. Excellent results, and that is already published in the American Urologic Journal, April of two years ago. We are in a really interesting position to have this data to move forward. We are in the process of refining this product for commercialization. In terms of the FDA, I've mentioned to you, we have an initial 510K clearance. We've also talked with the FDA about what we need to do to get this proper label, which is 100 cases. It's a class 2 de novo. We know how to do this. And we will get a pre-submission with the FDA. We've already had the pre-submission. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to refine the 510K so in less than a year we can be out there using this product, and we're going to submit the final application once we get the 100 patients done. Here's the timeline. We're going to start, as you can see at the beginning of the third quarter, we've put a real quality vendor in place who won't tell us the other companies he works for because he's one of the top guys. But if you go into their warehouse, you can see the products to Olympus, CR Bard, and it is going to take us 1 year to refine this product. And then we will build the beta units, but we're going to be able to get units on early as we do the de novo study, and then we'll put in a final application in less than 2 years. So what I'd like to do now is just conclude by making a comment on the products. You're going to say, are you kidding me? You're telling me you're going to set a new standard of care in bladder cancer? And the answer is yes. You're going to change the way people think about. And one of the objections that you might have in a Q&A is, well, wait a minute. What about when the cancer comes back? If it comes back. And the answer from the leading doctors in the world is, if it comes back in 2 years to 3 years, you just do another procedure. It's a day procedure. Reduce costs, make the patients happier. So what are we doing? We're raising a $7.25 million convertible note. We've raised $1 million, and you can see on the monitor, and we're on page 19. We will have a 10% interest rate on this. It matures in 2 years, or it converts to common at a qualified financing. The strike price is 40 cents, and there's a really significant amount of warrants that travel with this convertible note. And I'm just showing you that the last note was 2.1. Strike price always stays the same at 40 cents. And my lead investor, Rampa Capital, has committed, and I'm not being shy about this, to $2.5 million. But they're stalling on one of their liquidity events, and their new fund is closing in about 6 to 8 weeks. But at any rate, I wanted to share all of this with you, and I want to quickly just let you know that we're looking, and I know I'm talking on and on. We lost a little time there, but in 2 years we can do somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 million on a revenue line. We can build to 16. We can push on up to 30. If we look at all these products, and I'm going to conclude now, if you look at the units in the ASAP, selling 30 units of the iBlue system, I think we can sell much more of that. I priced it at $60,000 in this analysis. And you can see that we believe that we can have a major business over the course of the next 3-4 years. And just in conclusion, what happens to these companies, because someone will ask, is they get sold to the big guys. So questions for me, and I know I've taken a little longer with the fact that
it's okay, Jim. Great job. We do have some questions. Let's see how many we can get through. Starting with Kelly Heron. Kelly says, this sounds like a great technology. And Kelly asks, how is it being marketed to the medical community?
It will be marketed. We have, I have an array of consultants that are tapped into all of these doctors. We attend the trade shows, but I'm giving you short-term marketing right now. I mean, we'll be at a major American Urology conference. So we really have a real sense of the leaders. They know who we are. When we go to market, we will start with 10 independent sales reps. And that's why we're able to hold the the operating expenses down in 25, 26, and 27. We'll use these independents. We already know them. And where do they come from? Carl Storz, the competitor, who have left these organizations. They're top guys, and they are connected into the marketplace. So we're going to start with independents. We're going to go to the trade shows. We're going to get papers published. And that's how we're going to get this thing marketed.
Continuing on with this question, I'm going to try to combine Jamie and Scott. They want to clarify, development will take approximately 2 years. And if so, who are your customers? Is it doctors or hospitals? And talk a little bit about your sales strategy. What do you need to do to get through to get sales?
We sell to hospitals, and we will also be selling to doctors' offices. But in the hospital environment, the hospital pays for the product, the reimbursement codes are in place. So what's our strategy? Knock on the door of the hospital where these salespeople already know all the doctors. I mean, it's a little bit of an old boy network. And then in the doctor's office, which is specifically at this time lined up, we do have plans to move bladder cancer into the doctor's office. But at this time, that's in the operating room. There is also a lot of people doing prostate, obviously, in the operating room. We know the doctors from the hospital, and we'll build this office-based prostate system where the reimbursement codes are great for the doctor. I hope I've answered your question, but anyone can call me and ask me questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and Damon Mack wants to know, is your product a one-time sale or is there potential for recurring revenue?
iBlue is a one-time sale, but we're going to work with, we believe, this company that sells the imaging agent. So if you had a $30, $40 million business with a drug called Cysview, and you were making 92% margin, you might want to be talking with us. So there's a lot going on, in this area. I'll just leave it at that. In the N-Cage system, it's a disposable, and it's driven by a reusable. We'll possibly end up giving the reusable away and just sell the disposable. That's very standard healthcare stuff.
Well, this is fascinating technology and life-saving technology. So we appreciate you being on with us, and we would love for you to come back, give us some updates. We've got tons of questions for you, but we are out of time. So Jim, thank you so much for your presentation with us today.
And next time we do this, I won't hit the wrong button. But
it happens. It happens to the best of us. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We hope to see you again soon.
Anybody call me who wants to talk about the convertible note.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back with our next presenter.